What's going on, guys? It is your boy Kev signing here, and I'm back with another video. And today, guys, I want to talk about the downside when it comes to Pokemon investing and getting into a Pokemon business and just things of that nature. What triggered this video, guys, is that if you guys know, I work a normal 9-to-5 job like everybody else. I work in the finance sector, and what I do is that I help my guests out when it comes to their particular finances, and as well as trying to get them out of debt. Predominantly, I spoke to a client yesterday, and I was wondering how he got into a situation. One of the things that I asked, part of the application, is that, hey, was there some type of life event or some type of event or hardship that ended up happening that put you in this position? And he ended up magically saying, hey, it just might sound funny, especially you don't know about Pokemon, but, and this is when I actually had to mute the microphone, right? Because I was laughing on my end because I knew I was about to hear just some crazy stuff, right? So he tells me, yeah, I got into Pokemon about a year ago, and I got into ripping into a lot of stuff, so I was losing a lot of money. So then I wanted to continue to rip stuff, so I started getting into Pokemon investing, and then I also got into trying to start like a RipNShip business and whatnot. And it got to the point where I kept buying stuff, and I kept buying, in some cases, the wrong stuff that wasn't going up, or I bought the wrong plays, or I didn't sell at the right time, and I just kind of took loss on some of the stuff. And I wasn't a good negotiator because I was kind of new, so I bought some of the stuff high, thinking I'll just be able to sell it quick because I just see everybody selling everything quick. And eventually got to a point where it all caught up to him, and he just had to sell everything at a loss, and got burned. And the only thing that somewhat saved him was some of his Pokemon investments did go up because he ended up investing in some fusion strikes very early on, which ended up helping his case out. But ultimately, right, he got lost in the sauce. That's just the reality of it. Was he got lost in the sauce. And this is not the only time that I've actually talked to somebody like this. I've also even heard some of my own subscribers have going through something like this. I even get DMs from people asking me, yo, Kevin, you think I should invest in this, or should I buy this, or should I do this trade? Which is fine. I'm more than happy to talk to people and answer questions and all that. But at the same time, I feel like, especially in this bull market right now, and especially with so many channels popping up, especially new channels like myself. So again, I'm not trying to be a hypocrite. I do talk about Pokemon investing, but it's not the predominant thing we here talk about in the channel. I'm more talking about the channels that all they talk about is investing and their Pokemon business and things like that. Because then when in a bull market like this, there's so much new people, and they're gonna need information, and they're gonna get it somewhere. And when they're getting conflicting information, or they're wholeheartedly believing one person, people are going to take digs and loss. Just like how people like in the investment market or in the crypto space believes certain channels will like, hey, what crypto to buy or when to sell, things like that. People taking loss. Like, you don't think people have lost hard listening to their favorite crypto channel or their favorite stock channel, whatever it may be. It's the same thing in Pokemon, and it's just not talked about because, oh, it's cardboard and it's not a big deal. It's like, no, it's a big deal, because some of this cardboard is worth some serious freaking money. And I just feel like right now there's just this mass of like, yo, everything is just gonna keep going up. Like, you're like, and it gets all these new people, hooked because of the money, and they're like, oh yeah, I can make some money, like I'm gonna be up, like I'm gonna be rich. Like, bro, calm down, bro. We are in a bull market right now. Like, you don't buy in a bull market anyways. You buy when stuff is low. Like, that's what you want to do. And here's the thing, the investment space has gone significantly up. Investment channels have gone up so much because there's so many new people in here, and they want to learn about it and get into it, right? But at the same time, who's gonna tell these freaking new people that things are not gonna 2, 3, 4x, within 2-3 weeks or within a couple months like they have? Eventually this is gonna slow down, right? Who's going to tell them eventually you might make the wrong play, just like my client, and invest or buy the wrong thing when you shouldn't have, because, well, nobody also talks about you maybe should be in a good financial spot before you start investing. Nobody talks about the budgeting part, or maybe you actually start budgeting your money before you start buying and doing things. And I'm not being a hypocrite. Like, I'm not in debt. Like, I'm in debt like everybody else. But what I'm saying is that budget your money out, and you got payments, make sure you get them. And for the love of God, don't put it on a credit card. Do some DoorDash, do some Lyft or something, man. I could speak to that. I do Lyft on the weekends, guys, and I make maybe $400, $500, $600 depending if it's a really good weekend, you know what I mean? And I can reinvest that in, you know what I mean? But I'm not gonna put it on a freaking credit card. I don't even have credit cards anymore, because when I was early on in my early 20s, I was stupid with a credit card and I completely messed up my credit, because I'm doing the same thing that all these new people are doing, right? The only difference is when I did it back then, it wasn't in Pokemon, right? It was in literally stupid stuff. Well, at the time I was a car salesman, so I was blowing it off on like freaking drinking and paying for like a place where I really couldn't like afford, and cars and a whole bunch of other stupid stuff like that. But the point of it is that if you don't get your budget in check, right, you are going to get wrecked. Like, that's just the fact of it is. And you need to make sure that you're okay if you take a loss on something. When I take a loss in any of my investments or any of the stuff I do in the Pokemon space, I'm okay with it, because I always know there's a risk factor there, and as long as I'm okay that there's a chance that I could lose everything, or there's a risk there and I'm okay with it, then I'm cool. Because if I do come up on it and I win, that's the upside for me. Legit. So with that being said, that's all I gotta say in today's video, man. Things are just getting crazy. I just don't want y'all to be like my client here. Like I said, there's already stories on it. Y'all already seen people on Dave Ramsey's show talking about it. But all I'm saying is, guys, that just be careful, watch out what you're doing, get your budget in check. And with that being said, guys, we are trying to hit 500 subs, so we do appreciate you. Leave a sub, leave a like, and leave a comment down. Tell me what y'all think. This has been your boy Kept Siding. Peace. I'm out of here.